Tell you
That's
what,
not the case.
his family and his church and some of the county will be my prayers tonight.
You know, Arlen and I prayed out here this morning. We stopped and prayed for just a little. How are you, Edith? How are you?
Hello.
Doing okay?
Yes, thank you. How are you?
Ready for it to be Friday. Oh. So let me see if I can. Here comes Angie.
Okay.
She's showing up, and we're gonna move. So we'll do this for a little bit, and then Enrique, I'll repeat what I did with you guys with him a little later. So, because he can't come in till later in the evening, so I just agreed I'd do 2 different sessions.
Okay.
I don't know what that's all about. Do you? I must be a glutton.
Hmm.
Some type of punishment. Okay, so let's see where we were last time. I think we're ready for unit. Where did we finish? We were on page 20. Is that right?
Mm, yes.
Wow, how did I get so far? Page 20. Let's see what it says we're going to be listening to. 12.
Page 20.
Okay. So let's start with our normal. I was trying to find something that um, we could talk about that was so a spiritual lesson. And Miss Judy said, because last year they gave us these nice little printed off things like we've been using, and now she said that we just get a little Bible verse, and I'm like, well, that's not got a lot of story to it. So she said, well, if you can come up with something, feel like elaborating. So tonight we're going to do. This is a talk. Generally, at the beginning of each school year, we go out and speak to different schools. We'll go in and just share a spiritual thought. So this is the spiritual thought that I shared with Joe Burns Elementary School. I thought you would like it because that's the school I think your children go to.
Yes.
So I won't make you read it. I'll read it out loud. And then Angie, are you coming over this way or are you going to hide?
Hi.
You don't want to hide. Edith has got tears over here in her eyes. She wants to see her friend.
Hi.
So I'm just going to read this. So, and just imagine I gave this at the beginning of the day. It was early in the morning when I went there. And then you can tell me your thoughts at the end. So I'll read it out loud. If you would like to follow along, I did print it off.
Ay, teacher.
So it says a call to service. Greetings to each of you this morning in the name of Jesus Christ. What an honor it is to be gathered here this morning with such a wonderful group of professionals and friends. In line with our district themes of being positive, building relationships, and conducting ourselves in a professional manner, I thought it appropriate to speak on service. As such, I would like you to think about the following statements. Not me, why me, send me, and the word choices. Might each of you, might each of you here today be able to shout out, "This is the day that the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be exceedingly glad in it." Now the word of the Lord came unto Jonah, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it, for their wickedness is come up before me. A direct call from God. What a privilege and honor to be called to do the will of God. God said, Go, and Jonah did, but in the wrong direction, my friends. Jonah caught the first ship he could find to take him as far away from what God had in mind for him to do as possible. Little did he know just how far his journey would take him. Was the task overwhelming? More than one man should be asked to do, to single-handedly preach to a city the size of Nineveh? Exactly why we do not know. We only know that he did not obey God's call to service, and he had to pay the price. Faced with a fierce storm and not able to control the ship, the crew threw Jonah overboard. And that should have been the end of Jonah. But God was not quite finished. 3 days later, when the great fish that God had prepared for the salvation of his reluctant servant vomited him out upon dry land, he had a different response when God said to Jonah, "Go." Jonah went to Nineveh this time and was one of the more successful preachers of history, in that an entire city responded, from the greatest of them even to the least of them. My next thought. And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God called unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, "Moses, Moses." And he said, "Here am I." God's message was plain. "Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt." But much like Jonah, Moses did not rush to answer the call of God for service to him. "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh? What shall I tell the people when they ask what your name is? They won't believe me, and I am slow of speech," all given as excuses for not answering his call to go. God supplied, and that was sufficient for Moses to return to Egypt and negotiate the release of God's children from the bondage of slavery. Also, I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?" I think that's interesting there, that word "us." Whom shall I send? How many people are they speaking of? And who will go for us? Who was this us they were speaking of? Do y'all know? For those of us that are pretty religious folks, when you think of the Trinity, what is the Trinity? The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. So it says, "Whom shall I send?" So that's the Lord speaking, and who will go for us? That signifies or indicates that the Holy Spirit and Jesus and God were all there at the beginning of time. Then said I, "Here am I, send me." Isaiah saw a vision from God seated upon his throne, high and lifted up, and his reign filled the temple with angels in attendance. In the vision, God needed a messenger to go to King Ahaz to deliver a message, but no one was available. When the Lord asked, "Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?" Isaiah immediately, without hesitation, responded, "Here am I, send me." 3 different calls to service, my friends, and 3 different responses. Not me, why me, send me. Do any of these sound familiar to you guys? All 3 men went on to do great service for the Lord, but each had a different attitude towards service when he was first called, which was reflected in their answers. Not me. I have too many other pressing things to do. Somebody else can do it. That doesn't fit into my plans. Or, why me? I'm not a good speaker. I have to work too many hours and do not have time. Besides, they will not listen. Or, send me. I'm ready to work, I will make time. If I do not know, I will study. How far do you want me to go, Lord? Which response do you think God is most pleased with? Can you guys tell me which response you think God is most pleased with? Not me, why me, or send me?
Send me.
Send me. When God calls us to do something, we should say, here, my Lord, send me.
Yes.
Where was I at? When Jesus appeared to the 11 immediately before he ascended into heaven, he gave them a call to service that transcends time. So transcends mean it's past time and generations, and it's still as pertinent and compelling today as when he issued the Great Commission, go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. What will be your response today, my friends? Remember that the gates of history turn on small hinges, and so too do our lives. The choices we are making today will determine not only our earthly destiny, but our eternal destiny, and the destinies of the precious souls we teach daily. Joshua of old declared so eloquently or beautifully, choose ye this day whom ye will serve, but as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Let us not be found indecisive like Alice in Lewis Carroll's classic Alice Adventures in Wonderland. We all remember that she comes to a crossroad with two paths before her, each stretching onward but in opposite directions. She is confronted by a Cheshire cat, of whom Alice asks, which path shall I follow? That cat responded, that depends on where you want to go. If you do not know where you want to go, it doesn't matter which path you take. Unlike Alice, we all know where we want to go, and it does matter which way we go. For the path we follow in this life will surely lead to the path we follow in the next. Each of us should remember that he or she is a child of God, endowed with faith, gifted with courage, and guided by prayer. Our eternal destiny is before us. The Apostle Paul speaks to us today as he spoke to Timothy long years ago. Neglect not the gift that is in thee. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust. At times, many of us let the enemy of achievement, even the culprit we refer to as self-defeat, dwarf our aspirations, smother our dreams, cloud our vision, and impair our lives. It is my hope and prayer today that each of us will use our talents in a manner that is pleasing to the Lord. May we seek every opportunity to serve others and not become weary in well-doing during our journey through life. May we each care for the impressionable young minds we have been entrusted with and be ever mindful of what the Lord said regarding children. Suffer the little children to come unto me, for such is the kingdom of heaven. Although our children can be difficult to work with at times, and let's face it, we as adults can be too, may we always remember to see people not as they are today, but what they may become later. I humbly pray that each of you will strive always to make the right choices and always be willing to say when the opportunity presents itself to serve, here am I, Lord, send me. May the grace of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ be with each of you is my humble prayer. Amen. So maybe y'all learned something from that. What did y'all think? What were the three things that they said when we think about service? What were those three statements I said up front? I would like you to think about the following statements. Not me, why me, send me. And of course, we tied all that in together with choices. So not one of my better speeches, but I thought it was pretty good for, I think next time I'll let Edith prepare a lesson.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, she's like, "Heck no. I mean, you gonna put me on the spot like that? Because it ain't happening." All right, let's go to our lesson here. I think this is the one I need to share with you. Ding, 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 ding. Everybody see it? So we are on page 20, I believe. And so tonight we want to do some compare your life now and in the past. Compare your life now and in the past. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all about the bus accident last week. So I went down to deal with the one bus accident. I got back to the office, y'all. I just walked in the house. It was about 8:40. Get another phone call. A drunk driver ran head on into one of our school buses
Oh
coming
my
back from
good.
the ball trip. Totaled the bus. I didn't get out of the hospital till like 1 or so in the morning.
Oh my goodness.
Thankfully, there were no children on the bus. They had just emptied the bus. It was so overwhelming. But the bus is completely smashed. If I think about it, I'll show you some pictures the next time. If I think,
Okay.
so to say the least, I was working on coffee the next morning. I went down there and said, "Give me 5 shots of espresso, and some toothpicks, because I gotta have them to keep my eyes open for the rest of the day. I only got about 3 hours of sleep. I'm tired. Not just regular tired. I'm dog tired." So either way, it says compare your life now and in the past. So, we get to talk about the past. I know some of y'all are like, we might have some skeletons. I don't know that I want to talk about all that, uh, but Edith will be the first to share all of her skeletons tonight. Uh,
Mm.
and then we'll see, depending on how bad they are, I'll talk about mine. No, I'm kidding. So let's see here. It says discuss. What are things you like to do but don't have time for? And did you have time for those things in the past? So what are things that you enjoy doing in the past or that you don't have time for? Edith, I mean,
Mm.
conversation when I put you on the spot.
What can be?
Things that you enjoyed that you would do but you don't have time. Things that you like to do but don't have time for.
I don't know. Maybe go out with my friends. Maybe.
Okay, go out with your friends. Okay, what prevents you from doing that? So, did you have time for those things when you were younger to go out with friends?
Yes.
But why can't you do that now?
Well, because I'm always working, cooking. Um, I have to be with my daughter, playing.
Shoot.
So it's not a lot of time for me in there.
Oh my goodness. So it sounds like moms and dads have to really sacrifice a lot for their children.
Not really, but
Well, I mean, that's what it
sometimes
sounds
you
like.
just don't have time.
I don't get to go see my friends. I don't get to hang out with them, go to the movies, talk about all the good looking guys and all that no more. Oh no, I'm married. My children always want to be fed. I got to clean the house because they're not going to do it. Oh, and my husband expects a meal on the table because when he tries to cook, well, we're not even going to talk about that. So what about you, Angie? Do you have some, is there something that you like to do, but you don't have time to do?
I had time only when I go into sleep.
Just to get
That's
sleep?
it.
That's the only thing that you
Yeah.
have time to do is when you sleep?
Yeah, you remember that Friday? I go to my house when I see the bus. I say, oh my son,
I hear you.
because I stay working. I stay late today because we were overtime all
Overtime.
the time. And I go faster to my house because I remember sometimes you coming to the first stop and you stop over here and I coming you
You're
coming
coming
here.
from the other
Yeah,
way, but you're always coming around that curve way too fast. I'm just saying.
I don't have time for me.
She doesn't have time to wait for the bus, Edith. Comes around the curve on 2 wheels. I just hit the horn so the kids know, watch out for Angie, the Silver Street.
Yeah,
All right. So she doesn't have time to do much anything other than work. And that sounds like that's what we all do. And I always say work is overrated. Or at least that's how that's how I feel. But for some reason it's a necessary evil, something we have to do. So we're gonna listen to the conversation. Edgar and Lucia are talking. It is guess their relationship, okay? So let's listen to what Edgar and Lucia are talking about. Escúchame, por favor, estudiante.
Listen. Exercises A and B.
Edgar, are you working tomorrow?
No, I have the weekend off.
But you usually work on Saturdays.
I do, but I asked for this weekend off.
That's great. Let's go out. Why don't we go dancing?
Dancing?
Yeah, remember? We used to go out all the time. We went out dancing every weekend.
That was 15 years ago.
I know, but listen, I heard about a new restaurant, El Diamante. They play norteño, tejana, and mariachi. All the music we like.
But I can't dance anymore. You know I've got back problems.
Please, Edgar.
Oh, all right. After all, it is our anniversary.
Oh, Edgar, you remembered. I love you. Listen, I'll ask Mom to babysit right now before you change your mind.
Page 21. Conversation.
Uh-oh.
Exercise A.
Okay. So it says, listen to this conversation. Edgar and Lucia are talking, well, let me say that, are talking, guess their relationship, and they are talking about what? Or they are what? Are they cousins? Are they husband and wife? Are they boyfriend and girlfriend?
I think they are husband and wife.
What about you? Angie, what's your guess?
Yeah, husband and wife, because she remember,
Or anniversary.
Anniversary, but can you not be a boyfriend and girlfriend and have anniversary?
Well, but I don't think 14 years you're gonna be boyfriend and girlfriend.
Well, I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
maybe.
That's what I asked one of my Hispanic friends the other day about that. I was like, I don't see as many of the young Hispanic population getting married as quickly. I don't see a lot of rings. I only see it on the older folks' hands. And I said, why don't they get married? But they said that that's just some of the younger culture. That's the way they do, and their parents don't like it. But it's just sort of the way things are. The culture's changing a little bit. I think some of the Hispanic culture is being Americanized, and they're taking on or assimilating some of the American qualities that might not be as favorable in y'all's cultures back home. Because I would imagine like divorce and remarriage back home would probably be frowned upon.
for the Spanish people, teacher, is okay. American people say, "Oh, she's my girlfriend, and she lives in home and have children." And for Hispanic people, is a girlfriend, no more girlfriend because living in the same house or have children.
So if they have children and they're not married, they're just still looked at as they're married. Would that be right? Because I mean, we got two different folks here. We got El Salvador, right? And then we have Mexico. Cultures may be slightly different. what Angie said is sort of in line with what my friend, he's from El Salvador, said. That when they live together, it's pretty much once they start having children, they are together. They're pretty much married, even though they don't have a wedding. It's not official. The children will carry the name of the father and all that other good stuff. So, and they say the dads provide, so that's a good thing. I mean, because I'd be upset if they didn't provide. That's sort of an expectation, I guess, in all of the Hispanic culture that if you have a child, you're supposed to help take care of it. Don't just make mom take care of the baby.
Mhm.
Although you moms are amazing, y'all do so much of the work and we don't ever realize it
Mhm.
behind the scenes. So let's listen to this video again. She's listening to me. So husband and wife. So it says read the statements and then listen again, write true or false. So we're going to listen to the CD.
Page 20. Listen. Exercises A and B.
Edgar, are you working tomorrow?
No, I have the weekend off.
But you usually work on Saturdays.
I do, but I asked for this weekend off.
That's great. Let's go out. Why don't we go dancing?
Dancing?
Yeah, remember? We used to go out all the time. We went out dancing every weekend.
That was 15 years ago.
I know, but listen, I heard about a new restaurant, El Diamante. They play norteño, tejana, and mariachi. All the music we like.
But I can't dance anymore. You know I've got back problems.
Please, Edgar.
Oh, all right. After all, it is our anniversary.
Oh, Edgar, you remembered. I love you.
Oh,
Listen, I'll ask Mom to babysit right now before you change your mind.
all that ooey gooey, ooey gooey, ooey ooey. You just feel all that goo running all over? Shit. All right. So number one, Angie, you want to read number one for me?
Edgar has Edgar has
Has
has not tried of the work.
so Edgar has no time off at his job. So is that true or false?
That's false.
Okay. Edith, number two.
Okay. Lucia and Edgar went dancing when they live in Mexico. In Mexico.
Is that true or false?
I think it's true.
Angie, do you agree or disagree? She says it's true. Very good. Very, very, very good. All right.
Lucia and Edgar have not
Known,
known
known.
each other for more than 10 years. Is
Is that
No.
true or false? It is true.
Yes, true.
Lucia and Edgar have known each other for more than 10 years. Edith,
El Diamante is their favorite restaurant. Mm, maybe I can hear the name of the restaurant.
fine.
I think it's false. It was another restaurant. I can't remember the name. It was a restaurant they wanted to go to. So
I don't either. I can hear it.
I remember him saying it, but I don't remember that name.
Molcajete or something saying.
Oh, El Molcajete.
Molcajete and
Yes,
something.
that's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were so excited because she's going to get to go eat at this really expensive restaurant and break her husband's wallet. But she's happy. She's happy. All right, number five.
Lucia, mother doesn't baby see for Lucia and Elga.
Mm.
false.
That's false.
Yeah.
She was getting ready to call because she wanted to make sure Edgar didn't change what?
His mind.
His mind. I mean, she's pretty much saying that guys are wishy-washy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Lucia is happy at the end of the conversation. True.
I didn't hear no happiness in her voice.
Yeah, because she say, uh, uh, maybe she give you the children for her or somebody, and maybe change her mind for
Oh, I see. So she was happy. I guess I'll have to accept
Yeah,
it.
she say I love you.
I thought y'all just said that. Learn, listen to him. All right, it says C, discuss the questions. What do you think is a nice way to celebrate a wedding anniversary? This should be interesting. Any responses on what's a nice way to celebrate a wedding anniversary? I'd like to hear this.
I don't know.
Does there ever come a time where you don't look forward to your anniversary?
What was the question again?
So what do you think is a nice way to celebrate a wedding anniversary? What is like the perfect wedding anniversary for you? What does your husband have to do to make you excited when you know your wedding anniversary is coming up in a day or two and you're in the back of your mind as you go to bed the night before, you're thinking, is he gonna remember? I wish he would get me this, or he'd buy me that, or he'd cook me supper, or take me out. What's the one thing that makes you really happy when your husband remembers your wedding anniversary?
Maybe that he remembers.
Oh, oh,
Just kidding. No, I don't know. I like to do something like that we do when we are dating. Maybe take me out, go to the movies because we love movies.
okay.
I don't know, something like that.
Like, what do you like your husband to do for you,
for me.
for your wedding anniversary? What's something that's special to you that he
Yes,
does?
special. It's hard for me because when celebrate something, we stay together every time. With my family, my son, my daughter, my husband.
So you don't get no privacy?
No, never. I don't have nothing in special.
I'd kick him out. I say, Samantha, you got to go somewhere else. Take your little brother with you. Tonight it's all about your dad and I. Oh, mercy. All right, so we know y'all have children. If you do your relatives ever babysit for you guys so that you can enjoy your anniversary?
Yes.
Does your mom ever come down and babysit for you?
Because my mom not live over here.
But she comes to visit.
Because she don't have she's not.
Uh-oh.
What I say, my mom is not have.
Whoa.
She don't like it. Say the children make a noise.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
My mom don't like children.
She doesn't like children,
No.
and yet she's got children.
No.
Wow, that must have been tough on her.
Never. I give you my children every time you give me.
Oh, mercy. Okay. All right, let's move on down to page 21 then. We're going to listen to the pronunciation of used to. So used to is usually pronounced used to. The words are joined together and pronounced as one word, okay? So let's listen to the CD see what it has to say here.
Page 21. Conversation. Exercise A. Listen. Used to. I used to play soccer. We used to go dancing. We used to go out all the time. Listen and repeat. Used to.
Used.
I used to play soccer.
I used to play soccer.
We used to go dancing.
We used to go dancing.
We used to go out all the time.
We used to go out all the time.
Page 21.
Okay, so I used to play soccer. So I used to play soccer. We used to go dancing. We used to go out all the time. So although when we pronounce it, the two words are combined together, used to, as you see in the top of the pronunciation watch there. When it's actually written, it is two separate words, okay? You see on the page here, I used to play soccer.
You said what it said when I use that. I like it or what?
No, I used to just means that you used to do something. I used to, so when you hear that used to, it means you're trying to say, I used to play soccer. I used to play basketball. I used to drive my car fast. I used to date every week. We used to go dancing. We used to go dancing when not every bone in my body hurts when I wake up in the morning. Or we used to go out all the time until we became broke, that kind of stuff. So when you think about used to, you would just say used to do something. So, but it's two separate words, used to, but we combine them when we pronounce them and say used to. Used to. Some would say we're being lazy. I don't know. I'll let Edith be the verdict on that. So let's go to section B, listen and read the conversation. So I'm going to play the conversation. You guys listen, and then I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, no.
See, here we go. There's only 25,000 people watching us tonight. These are live sessions that go out on the World Wide Web. So it's so much fun. Here we go.
Conversation. Exercise B.
Edgar, are you working tomorrow?
No, I have the weekend off.
But you usually work on Saturdays.
I do, but I asked for this weekend off.
That's great. Let's go out. Why don't we go dancing?
Dancing?
Yeah, remember? We used to go out all the time. We went out dancing every weekend.
Unit 2.
Uh-oh.
Dreams and Goals. Page 21.
Okay. So let's just read the conversation together. So Edith, you get to be Lucia. Edgar,
Okay.
that's going to be Angie. Y'all start talking or
Okay.
conversating.
Edgar, are you working tomorrow?
No, I have the weekend off.
But you usually work on Saturdays.
I do, but I asked her for this weekend off.
That's great. Let's go out. Why don't we go dancing?
Dancing?
Yeah, remember, we used to go out all the time. We went out dancing every weekend.
Well, y'all must have had a lot of money and a lot of energy.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so it says practice the conversation. So we'll flip the roles this time. So Angie, you'll be Lucia, and Edith, you'll be Edgar.
Edgar, are you working tomorrow?
No, I have the weekend off.
But you usually work on Saturday.
I do, but I asked for this weekend off.
That's great. Let's go up. Wh-
So let's go out. Why?
Why don't we go dancing?
Dancing.
Yes. Remember, we usually to go up on the side. We went up dancing every week.
Okay. So Edgar, so I'll be Edgar. Hey, Edith, you want to read Lucy again?
Okay. Edgar, are you working tomorrow?
I don't know. Why do you ask?
Because I want to go out somewhere.
Well, I think I might like to go out too. So I think I'm going to ask for the weekend off.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's great.
So what are you wanting to go do? That's the big question, Edith.
Mm, I don't know. Let's go to the pool.
To the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those days back when we were still young. Yeah, baby. Count me in. I'm taking off. I'm gonna put the notice in today. I'm calling my boss and saying, "Yeah, hey, Faye, I'm done. See you later. I'll be back Monday. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord splits you. Sayonara." Okay. All right. So imagine that you are old friends. You have not gone out together in a long time. It says to make up a conversation, use the ideas in the box or your own ideas. Um, so down here it says go out to a nice club or a restaurant, go to the movies, go to a soccer match. So if we were having that conversation, we just sort of made up one using the premise or the base of the formal conversation there. So as long as you're able to ask questions and have that open conversation or open dialogue, that's a good quality. And speak confidently when you do that. So let's go on down to page 22. 22, please. Ladies and gentlemen, page 22, page 22. So it says compare. So it says compare your life now and in the past. So we're still on this subject here. So it says used to, which we said is pronounced how? Anybody? Going once? Going twice? Cricket, cricket,
Well,
cricket. Used to. Remember? So when we hear that, when we see used to, we say used to. So I
just
used to be a wonderful dancer. We used to dance every weekend. I used to be handsome. And then I got old, wrinkly, and fat.
that's me.
Oh, so grammar watch. Use used to talk about past habits, past events. So we often contrast past habits with present situations. I used to dance, but I don't anymore. ¿Por qué? I used to dance, but I don't anymore because my knees hurt.
Yes.
So it says read the paragraph, underline used to, and circle each verb that comes after it. Angie. Edith is like, thank goodness I didn't get put on the spot the first time ever.
Yes.
Are you ready? Let's hear
Uh, la- Last summer, I visited
it.
my home, home,
Hometown.
hometown. I
Mhm. It's
is so different from the way
way
way it usually
it used to be.
used,
Used to be.
used to used to be. When I lived there, we used
Used to.
used to ride the
Bikes.
bike and
Bikes.
bike or take
Buses.
buses.
Nothing like a big old bus. I love them.
Now people ride mo
Motorbike.
motorcycles,
Motorbikes.
motorbike. Women use
Women.
women
Women.
women use them
Yep.
to wear tra traditional clo clothes,
Clothes. Very good. Traditional clothes.
clothes, but now there other
No. But now they often
they often wear wear
wear
western clothes,
Western clothes.
western clothes, black
No. Back.
back. Then people use that to wait,
Used to write
write le letter,
letters.
letters, but there,
Yep. But
but
these
these day, e- every,
everyone
everyone use cell
uses
phone,
uses cell phones.
uses cell phone and email.
Very much so.
Can you guess when
Where
where I
I'm
from I'm from Ho 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 Ho
Ho
Chi
Ho Chi Minh City,
Ho Chi
Vietnam.
Minh City,
Vietnam.
Vietnam. Thank you.
All right, Edith, it's your turn.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, I saw you over there. Did you see her?
I thought I was safe.
She was sleeping. Did you see her? She had someone had to come over and push on her
That's
to
not
wake her up.
true. That's not true.
I'll
Okay.
read it for you. So it says, last summer I visited uh, my hometown. It's so different from the way it used to be. When I lived there, we used to ride bikes or take buses. Now people ride motorbikes. Women used Women used to wear traditional clothes, but now they often wear Western clothes. Back then, people used to write letters, but these days, everyone uses cell phones and email. Can you guess where I'm from? I'm from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. So it wants us to underline all of the used tos and then circle the verb that comes right after it. So the first one says it's so different from the way it used to be. So they've underlined used to and then circled the word be. So what is the next one?
Uh, Used to ride.
Used to ride. Okay, so we would underline used to
Mm-hmm.
and circle ride.
And
Okay,
take.
and take. Correct. Well, in this instance, not take. So just used to ride because ride, you can ride the bus and you can ride a bike.
Well, that's right. No.
So, so we would actually just do ride. Okay, Angie, what's the next one?
Where? Here?
In that paragraph. What's the next one in the paragraph?
I miss my
So now people ride motorcycles or motorbikes. So women
woman. Uh, you said to
used to wear.
where?
So we would underline used to and then circle the word wear.
Where?
So they used to wear traditional clothes, but now they often wear Western clothes. So, okay. Back then, people used to write letters.
Mm-hmm.
So used to would be the phrase that we're underlining. But what are they doing? Write. So
Right.
writing letters. That's something that I would imagine all of us wrote letters when we first started dating and all that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a
Yes.
little gooey gooey, but that's probably what we did. You don't see much of that now. Kids probably just send a text message, hey, do you like me? You know, and we had to actually go talk to the, you mean what? I got to talk to the girl? Are you serious? I can't do that. I'll pass out if she speaks to me. But these days, everyone uses cell phones and email. So those are the ones that we would underline. So it says, read the conversation, which we have. Complete the sentences with used to and the verbs go, have, make, or play. So the first one says, what? Angie.
When I was a children, I usually to go to the out, out, outdoor, make with my mother. I miss that.
So outdoor market with my mother. I miss that. So when I was a child, I used to go to the outdoor market with my mother. Okay? I miss that.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
Hold on here. Okay. Edith, it's your turn.
Okay. I miss my grandmother's cooking. She used to make she used to make the best kimchi in the world. How about you, Jorge? What do you miss about Peru?
Okay, so used to make. Very good. And Angie.
I usually do more time for play so soccer.
So let's read it. I usually more time to play soccer or I used to have more time. So we got to use we've got to use the verbs go, have, make, or play. So I used to have more time to play soccer. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay. And now what's the rest of it?
I usually
I used to
play soccer every
every what?
week
Weekend.
weekend.
So when you see used to, I think you're wanting to say usually. So we would just say, I used to play soccer every weekend. I used to. She used to make. I used to have. I used to play. I used to go. Okay? So compare your life now and with your life in the past. Talk about your life now and in the past. Talk about clothes, food, games, activities. Can you compare your life now with your life in the past? That might be a little scary. What do you think? I mean, if we think about what we did in the past, the things, our clothing has changed quite a bit. I mean, I can, well, maybe not me. I'm still wearing the same old black pants that I wore when I was young. I still wear long sleeve solid shirts. But I'm sure for some of you guys, I mean, if I were to go to Mexico, I'm sure that the younger women dress a lot different than the older women,
Yes.
I would imagine. I can say here in America, looking at young women versus women of older women, you know, the older women used to wear hats all the time. You know, these really nice, pretty hats. They'd have flowers in them and they were just beautiful. I think every woman should wear a hat. They're just beautiful. But they don't do that anymore. I can say that when we think about activities or games, you know, we probably all did a lot of roller skating. We played stuff outside more than what we do now. Kids today just play games on a computer or on their cell phone. You know, we actually got outside and did, you know, jumping jacks or what was, you know, we do hide and go seek or play baseball or kickball or volleyball. We were always busy doing something, you know. But kids today, if you ask them to go outside, they see what's outside. You know, what is that? It's the place you go where you actually breathe in comfortable air. You know, either way. Okay. All right. So write about your life now and in the past. So before you write, read about, it says Joitz's life, then complete the chart with information from the paragraph. So this should be interesting as we think about this. I don't know that I actually did this lesson the last time. I think someone else did, believe it or not. All right, so let's read it. It says, I grew up in Ethiopia. I'm from Addis Ababa. Ababa. It has mountains around it and lots of eucalyptus trees. It's warm and pleasant all year. In the winter, it was 68 degrees. I used to spend a lot of time outdoors all year. Now I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The weather is very cold in the winter, so we stay inside a lot during the winter months. I like Minneapolis, but I miss Ethiopia. So we got a whole lot to do here. So read about this. So the complete the chart. So in Ethiopia, it says the weather is warm, correct? In the paragraph we read that it says that it was warm. How warm was it in the winter? Can either one of you tell me? How many degrees?
Well, 68.
68 degrees in the winter. That's like perfect weather. Okay. So we think about she says that they also spend a lot of time. So when it says there, it says I used to spend what? A lot of what?
Time
Time where?
outdoors.
I used to spend a lot of times outdoors. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the area, it says the area, it has mountains around it and lots of what kind of trees?
Eucalyptus.
Eucalyptus trees. So that tells you a little bit about the weather in Ethiopia. However, in Minneapolis, the weather is what?
Very cold.
So in the article, it says the weather is very cold, mucho frío. And so as a result of it being very cold in the winter, where do all the people stay during the winter months?
Inside.
Inside. So very good. So they stay indoors. So how was your life different in the past from the way it is now? So in my native country, so let's talk about Mexico.
Oh my goodness.
So what's something when you were young or something that happens in Mexico, but when you think about in Tennessee, it doesn't happen?
We walk a lot because there is no everybody got cars, so you can walk a lot to the store. You have to walk to the school.
Wow.
Everywhere.
People actually walk?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I
You
mean,
or take buses, but
that's
I
cruel.
used I used to like walk. I walk from my house to my cousin's house. Um, I walk every morning to the school and back home.
Did you ever just think to yourself, I wish I didn't have to walk so much?
No.
No.
I like it. I like it. You know, that help you to stay on shape. Now I'm really fat
Whatever.
because I can't even walk to nowhere.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so in El Salvador, what would be something that in your native country of El Salvador that's different from the United States here in Tennessee?
El Salvador is hot.
It's hot.
It's hot. Yeah, El Salvador is when it's Christmas, it's same with the time right now. It's a little chilly. It's same with them in the morning today. It's a little chilly. It's when I say like this, it's say everybody say, I smell to Christmas because it's a little cold. It's a little bit. It's not cold. It's hot. Uh, the beach is the water on the beach. It's hot. It's not cold.
Did you hear what she said?
Yes.
The water, yes,
It's hot.
it's hot. When you going, it's okay. You going to Florida, it's different. Okay, the sun is putting for you brown because it's too hot. You looking, the water is the reflection is hot.
Very strong. Okay.
It's strong. Mhm. And I think with she say everybody watching, and when you going to maybe the going to the supermarket is too far to the house. You going to in the bus for going to the market, and the bus says full. Sometimes the people go outside the bus
Yeah.
after the bus.
Hang there.
Because in the bus, sometimes the people going to stand up in the bus.
I tell them sit down.
No,
And
room for sit down. No room. Sometimes in the bus, you go outside the bus, you go upstairs, and the tree is a big one. You go like this because the tree maybe.
Oh, you have to duck.
Yeah,
Ow.
when they stop.
And you sometimes when the bus the bus only 3 times going to the supermarket and go to my house. We say the market 7 miles. Sometimes the bus is going to my house. I go to walking 7 miles.
7 miles would take me a week to get wherever I'm going.
No, teacher. No.
That's too much work. Y'all making me tired just thinking about
No,
all this walking.
you know that what happened with the old people in El Salvador or in Mexico? The doctor say, okay, you need to take a bed for 1 week. The people die because you see the grandpa or grandma take a pro for clean it up outside or washing right here. Not you going to the hospital for the old people. When
Yeah, that's what happens. We get old and we die.
no,
We're too lazy to get out and actually move around. I'm going to buy a chair that lifts me up. When I get older, I'm going to buy one that actually lifts me all the way up so I don't even have to work to stand up.
no, teacher, en El Salvador is like this. You say a grandma or grandpa say, okay, grandma, don't make nothing, don't clean it up, don't take your plate for the table. Die 1 week, she die or her grandma or grandpa.
My goodness.
Yeah, because the old people like to stay moved.
Well, I'm old and I don't like moving for nothing. Okay. So we talked a little bit about our native life. We didn't really write anything. I probably should write, but we didn't do that. So check your writing. Does your paragraph talk about life in your native country in the United States? So we talked about it because we're really talking about conversation right now.
Yeah.
So let's move on to review and expand, and we'll be through this section. So this will be page
24.
4. So for grammar review, go to page 245 in your grammar review. And I did not actually print that. Shoot. All right. So if y'all go to 245 in the back of your book, I should have printed that. So this is grammar review. So complete the sentences. Use the simple present form of the verbs in parentheses. So A, do you live around here? Okay. B, Edith, would you read that and then use the right word?
Where? On
Page
page
245. 245.
Okay. So I read B. That's
B,
what
it says, yes, I.
Okay. Yes, I do. I live with my sister. She have an apartment on Oak Street. What about you?
So she has. So remember we're doing.
Yeah.
So she has, because it's what she has right now. So she has an apartment on Oak Street. What about you, Angie?
Number 8.
Okay, it says I
live around there, but I work
nearby
a brown
balloons
blue and my son
takes
okay,
classes
classes the
at
community
At
at the community center. Actually, I mm, I never
I need
I need to
move
move at
and
and this center
seems
seems like a ne-
nice,
nice neighborhood.
nice neighborhood. Very good. So it says there I and it says not live. So remember we're using simple present. So what are we doing right this minute? I don't live. So we would say I don't live around here. So I don't live because it's present. That's we're saying that I don't live right here, right now.
Mhm.
But I work because that's something I'm doing presently nearby at Balloons. And my son takes, because again, that's what I'm doing presently. If I was doing it in the past, I would say my son took classes, but we're talking about the simple present form of the verbs in parentheses. So actually, I need, because that's what I've got to do right now, I need to move, and this seems like a nice neighborhood. So seems would indicate, and this seems, which means I am thinking this way right now, that this is a nice neighborhood. If for some reason, if you asked me 20 years down the road, I could have said, at the time, it seemed like a nice neighborhood. However, it was not. But it took only 2 weeks to figure out I'd made the biggest mistake of my life that cost me $300,000. All right. Edith?
Okay. It is. When do you want to move?
As soon as humanly possible. And Edith?
Okay, let me call my sister. She knows this neighborhood well. Maybe she can help you.
So she knows, which indicates that she knows it right now, is present. Okay? So let's go to B. It says complete the paragraph, circle the correct words.
Okay.
So last November, our neighbors invited us to our first Thanksgiving dinner. It was a lot of fun or many fun. Which one is it?
A lot of?
A lot of fun. Very good. We had some turkey or we had any turkey.
Some?
We had some turkey, a few sweet potatoes, or a little sweet potatoes.
A few?
A few sweet potatoes, any rice, a lot of rice, a lot of rice, okay, a lot of rice, and a delicious salad with a little nuts or a lot of nuts and a few pieces of avocado.
A little.
A lot of?
A lot of. So delicious salad with a little, if we were to say a little, we would just say some or a few,
Mhm.
but a lot of nuts and a few pieces of avocado. My husband tried a little cranberry sauce or a few cranberry sauce.
A few?
A little.
A-
Remember when we talked about measuring there, how you would say a few of something or a lot of something. So we think about rice and things that you can't really measure. There's going to be a lot of. So my husband tried a little cranberry sauce. You can take a spoonful of that, and that's just a little.
Okay.
But I didn't try any, or I didn't try some.
And
I didn't try any. Very good. I brought much, or I brought some homemade cupcakes and cake for dessert.
I see. Lemon?
Some. So I brought some. Very good. I think everyone liked my desserts because by the end of the meal, there weren't any cupcakes or much cupcakes.
Any cupcakes?
There weren't any cupcakes and there wasn't many cake or much cake left.
I see. And
I mean, and
And there
there
wasn't many cake left or much cake left.
much.
Much.
Much?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there wasn't much cake left. Yeah.
All right. So it says complete the paragraph with used to and the verbs from the box. So we have eat, go, have, see. Eat, go, have, see. Eat, go, have, see. Eat, go, have, oh, sorry.
Mm.
I came to the U.S. from Brazil 6 years ago. My life here is different. In Brazil, who can help me? I
You do
used to what?
see?
See. I used to see my grandparents every weekend. Now, I only see them once a year. I
Mm-hmm.
are you? Are you? Is that?
I used to go to the beach and play volleyball or soccer on the weekends. Now I work most Saturdays and on Sundays I relax at home. In Brazil, my friends and I
Used to eat.
used to eat very good all sorts of Brazilian specialties like uh, feijoada. It's probably not even the right way to say that. Do you know how to say that, Edith?
No. No.
Here I only have those foods on special occasions. In Brazil, I never
In Brazil, I never.
used to what? I never used to. So remember, we got eat, go, have, see.
Mm.
In Brazil, I never used to blank steady work. I never used to,
What is a steady means?
that means regular, steady. So if you have regular or consistent work, or if you would say regular, it means that you have a job that you can go to every day of the week. Something that you can depend on, something you can count on.
Okay. So I used to have
Very good. I used to have steady
steady.
work.
Mm.
Here I have a good job and many opportunities. So, all in all, I'm happy that I'm here. I have a good future. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Woo! All right. Are y'all getting tired?
Mm. No.
I know, I'm getting tired. All right. So, review the conversation on page 9. So, let me see if we go back to page 9. We're going to listen to it. All right, it's going to
Page
listen.
9. Conversation. Exercise C. Great game. Is this the Atlas Soccer League? I've heard about them.
Yes,
I love to come here and watch them. Do they play every Saturday? Yes, unless it rains. By the way, my name's Edward. Hi, I'm Marco. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Do you live around here? Nearby. I live in Southside. I'm originally from Brazil. Page 12.
Okay. So we've listened to that. To review the conversation on page 9, we've listened to it. So in pairs, it says make small talk. Tell your partner about yourself. So student A, you should ask the following questions. Student B should answer the questions. So Edith, I will let you ask the question, and Angie will have to answer each of these questions.
Okay. What country are you from?
My from is Salvador.
So you say, I am from, or I'm from El Salvador.
I am from El Salvador.
Okay. What language do you speak?
I speak Spanish.
Where do you live now?
I live in Springfield.
Mhm. What is your neighborhood like?
Oh, I want to hear this.
Good question. Because I don't know who is my neighbor.
You don't know your neighbors? You don't even know Juan and Kobe next door? I know your neighbors and I don't even live there.
No, I think Mr. Barbie.
Mr. Barbie.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay, keep going. Edith.
Okay. Why are you studying English?
Because I need to speak English and write in English.
Good job.
We would, and on that question, they put an extra verb there that shouldn't be there. It would just be, why are you studying English?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah, that's the mix up. Okay, so Angie, you get to ask the questions now, and somebody else has to answer. And you can make the questions as hard as you want.
Okay.
You got the questions? Yeah, they're right there. She's done closed up shop here. She's there, she's stretching. She's like, I'm about to get out of here. I'm gonna be like the Tasmanian devil. Smoke's coming out from under my feet getting out of here. Okay, so you're student A. So you're on page, we're on page 24.
24.
So you're on the wrong page. So go back to page 24.
24.
Mm-hmm. 24. 24, see?
Okay. Okay.
So ask those questions. I want to hear what Edith has to say.
Ira.
Oh,
Ira, what country are you from? From?
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Mexico.
What language do you speak?
Spanish.
Where do you live now?
I live in Cedar Hill.
What is your next neighborhood live
Like.
like?
It's quiet and solitary.
Ooh, that's a good.
That's how you say?
Solitary. Mm-hmm. Solidarity. There's solidarity in your neighborhood. Just meaning that it's peaceful.
Okay.
You could go there in your mind.
Yes.
Go on a journey and nobody's gonna bother you.
Why are you
Yes.
studying English?
Because I want to speak very well.
Don't let her lie to you. She said her husband had to, that she had to lie. That's what he told her. He said, you learn some English or I'm kicking you out. So, Edith, I'll let you ask me some of those questions and then I'll answer them.
Okay. What country are you from?
None of your business. So I'm from the United States of America.
Okay. What language do you speak?
I speak English fluently and a little bit of Dutch
Oh,
and a very little Spanish, although I would like to increase my knowledge of the Spanish language.
okay. Where do you live now?
I live in Springfield, right across from Walmart.
Oh my goodness. You are the one in front of Walmart that had piano classes?
No, that's my neighbor though. Her
Okay.
husband owns the Anchor Bus Company.
Yes. What is your neighborhood like?
I think that my neighborhood is peaceful. There are a lot of houses in the neighborhood. I'd like to say we have lots of privacy, but that's not always the case. However, in my yard or in my little place, I've got trees everywhere. So although I'm in the middle of this neighborhood, I feel like I'm still out in the country because I got trees everywhere. I got a little koi fish pond out front that's got a waterfall. So I feel like I still got a little bit of the country life in me, but I don't have to go far to be in the city.
Okay. Why? No, you're not studying English.
Why are you studying English? I study English so that I can help my fellow citizens improve their English. Because English is an ever evolving language. It changes frequently. It's just a unique language. It's beautiful once you get the grasp of it. That it allows you to express yourself in a plethora or a variety of ways that other languages do not always permit you to do. And I believe it's because the English language has so many words in it that we have this. It's like going to to a buffet bar and you just choose all the words you want and you can have this really robust or a very powerful sentence, or you can go in there and just have a plain Jane statement. I like you. So that's a little bit why I'm studying English. Okay?
Okay.
So that's that. So it says read about why Joe's problem. So I want you guys to read this. Angie's like ready to go. She's giving me the look over here. So I'll read it and then we'll discuss it because the next page is going to be dreams and goals, and that's a whole new unit. So let's read about this.
Okay.
My husband is 70 years old and I'm 65. We came to the United States a year ago to live near our son and daughter. We live in a quiet suburb in Los Angeles with our son. He has a big house, but he and his wife work all day, so we're home alone. You need a car to get anywhere, and we don't drive. I miss Shanghai. In Shanghai, we used to spend time with our friends and we miss that. I don't speak English well, and I'm bored. My daughter tells us to move to San Francisco. She and her husband live in Chinatown in a small apartment. What should we do? So what is why Joe's problem?
Decide where you want to be.
So decide where they want to be or decide where they want to live.
Yes.
Okay. Um, can y'all give why Joe any advice? Should she stay in Los Angeles or should she move to San Francisco? This is hard. Now you're meddling, so you got to tell somebody based off of what they've told you. So Los Angeles is a pretty nice place to live. It doesn't sound like they have any, I mean, it's not like they don't have enough room in the house they're living in because they're living with their son.
Yeah.
And of course he has this huge house, so they've got all the room in the world. But what do his son and his son's wife do all day?
Work.
They work all day. So guess who's at home to take care of this big old house? Mom and Dad. I would love if Mom and Dad came and lived with me. I'd say, y'all make sure my house is spotless every day. Mom, make sure there's food on the table at night too. She'd be like, son, I didn't move here to take care of you. When I'm mom, I'm not charging you rent. So I think you should keep around here. Okay, but it says here, or should they move to San Francisco? So in San Francisco, that's where her daughter lives, correct?
Yes.
And in San Francisco, they have Chinatown. And she is from where?
Shanghai, China.
Hi. So that's in China. So she could go live with her daughter in
A small
San
apartment.
Francisco in a small apartment, which is customary in China. You know, you think about just a little small place here, like I think about Angie's house. It's probably a 3-bedroom house, something like that. That same little house would hold about 500 people in China.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they literally just get little sections and that's all they live in. So
Yeah.
what should we do here? This is a hard decision. How can she make more friends and find activities? So I don't know. If I were giving her advice, I would ask, where is your heart? Is your heart entirely, is your desire to be around people that are like you, people that think like you, speak like you, look like you? If that's the case, then I guess we could advise her to go to San Francisco. Because it seems like she's a bit alone living in this big house. Although I would question, you do have your husband there all day, but you feel alone? I mean, what is he? Just a statue? Either way, you know, that husband should be entertaining too. I mean, I'm not married, but I would imagine when wives are married, their husbands do some pretty crazy things, and y'all get some pretty good kicks and giggles out of us. So I think that being in Chinatown, she would be closer to people that look, speak, act, talk, do all those things like her. And it would be closer to what she's familiar with. And we know that when we're around things that we're familiar with, it makes life a lot easier. I can only imagine what it would have been like to walk across the United States, walk from the Mexico border into the United States, what that feeling would be like to come into a culture that is far cry from what your cultures would be like. I can only imagine. And how you look back and say, did I make the right decision? I would hope we could all say, yes, it was the right decision, and I'm glad that I did it, and I would not go back. So it's made all the difference. Well, Angie's tired. I'm over here tired. So next week, Angie, don't leave yet. You are on video. Next week, so start thinking about dreams and goals. So page 25 talks about dreams and goals. Look at that beautiful picture.
Yeah.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. She said, make him the cutest that I've ever seen. What do you think? So we'll think about dreams and goals. So things you should start considering this week. What do you dream about for your future? What do you plan for yourself and for your family? Edith will have to answer these questions. You'll be given about 20 minutes to elaborate on that or discuss at length. We're going to talk
I
about
cannot be late.
whatever. Talk about going back to school. We're going to talk about future plans, looking for a better job, how to set goals, and talk about community services. So it sounds like there's a little bit, we're shifting from one subject matter to another, but I think it will be exciting. Just looking at all that color in that picture, it makes me excited myself. So I appreciate all of you guys so very much. Enrique must have forgotten me tonight. So that's all right. I'll send him a nastygram. I didn't get no response from Edith. She was just looking like, what is a nastygram? So I appreciate you guys. So think about that next week, and we will gather together and have some good conversation, okay?
Okay.
Say hi to the family. Enjoy your weekend. I hear we're gonna have cold weather next week. I heard we might need the jackets.
Yeah, I started putting my jacket yesterday. It was cold in the morning.
Listen to you. I've got the windows open on the bus and the fan blowing.
Oh my goodness,
Little
no.
children are like, it's cold, Mr. Josh, it's cold. I said, oh, listen to y'all. Y'all are all skinny. I'm fat. I'm hot. So either I like the wintertime because I get to wear my sweater vest. I love wearing my little sweater vest during the winter because I can't wear a full sweater because I get really hot. So the sweater vest still allows me to breathe a little bit. So either way, well, y'all have a good week, and we'll see you, Lord willing, next week, okay?
Okay.
Until then, miles and smiles.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye, Angie.
Bye.
Look at her. She's out the door.
Yeah.
Smoke. There goes the smoke. Did you hear the door? It just fell off the hinges. She came out it so fast. Good. See you later.
See ya.
Bye.